Oh, check it out. Hearthsteel, a new premium currency data mine in midnight. My goodness. We better click and take a look at what's going on. First sentence, a new currency called Hearthsteel has been data mined on the Midnight Alpha, presumably used to purchase housing items from the in-game shop. And check out these icons. Oh, it's very suspicious, very shop-like. I mean, look at the icons and the data mined string. Second sentence, it's not yet confirmed that this will be a premium currency. Okay. Hey, it's Soul with another video, and today we're going to talk about what we know about endeavors. What are they for? What rewards do they give, and how do we get them? This is not what I would call valuable feedback, because this is us just reacting to data mining and not actual testing. We have a lot of these little bits of information, and we can weave together the basics of what's going on. It's all wrapped up in a bunch of speculation and deep-fried in copium. My conclusions are far more boring than some of the more sensational stories out there, and of course I could very much be wrong, but I am confident that I'm pretty close. To get what's going on with endeavors and this currency, let's go back to May, when a bunch of creators were invited over to Boston to get their hands on player housing for their very first time. It was a great experience, 10/10, I would do it again, and we learned a lot about the high-level overview of how housing would work, including these things called endeavors. Only a little bit of information has been shared in official blogs, but endeavors are a series of neighborhood tasks under a certain theme. We contribute towards these tasks as a neighborhood, and as we progress, the neighborhood itself adopts features of this endeavor for that month. But here's what's been less talked about. As we progress through endeavors, specific vendors are said to sell decor specific to their theme. So when the Mechagon endeavor rolls around, the neighborhood that picks it up might be interested in enriching it to get its rewards. We also learned a while back that we'd be earning and spending some sort of endeavor currency. Data mining as far back as the pre-alpha identified something called community coupons, and its description matches what I'm talking about. Now, will this become Hearthsteel? I don't know. We'll get back to the currency in a bit, but let's go over the endeavors themselves. MMO Champion data mined a bunch of them, and they're viewable on the WoW database housing hub, allowing us an idea of what's planned. Let's look at the one up top called Artistic Aid. A Blood Off Art commune is sheltering in the neighborhood while their home is under attack and wants to share their artistic prowess with the neighborhood. Okay, so we're going to help some elves. Let's look at the actual tasks being asked of us, like completing mythic dungeons and killing raid bosses and earning honor and completing world quests. So, okay, there are numerous other tasks related to Blood Elf activity and zone events with Blood Elves and gathering in Blood Elf zones and defeating specific enemies involving the Blood Elves. Looking through all these endeavors, they follow the same pattern. There are tasks related to the theme, like for Mechagon, we actually go into Mechagon and participate in activities and beat up bad guys and more. And there are more regular activities that have, well, nothing to do with the endeavor actually, but they still contribute towards progress, raids and dungeons and so on. All of these look like individual contributions. It doesn't say anything about being forced to group up with your neighbors. It's just the neighborhood sharing these contributions into one giant pool. The vibe might feel pretty familiar. It's very much like the Traveler's Log for the Trading Post, just for a whole neighborhood or a guild. There's a lot of regular, everyday stuff we do, and there are ways to earn progress towards getting our Trader's Tender by completing very specific activities related to the theme. I predicted months ago that this is how endeavors would work too. I said we would probably get credit for doing our usual day-to-day, but probably get more credit doing things more closely related to the endeavors theme. Meanwhile, we'll get some sort of fixed amount of currency. It might be a set cap, or it might be limited to the activities the neighborhood completes on this list, meaning we don't necessarily have to do everything on this list. This sounds plausible because the work needed to complete endeavors is announced to scale according to the size of the neighborhood. We're still going to wait for specifics, but for now, I feel pretty vindicated here. Now back to the currency. I actually think that Wowhead, in a way, is right, that this Hearthsteel will technically be a premium currency, just like how Trader's Tender is technically a premium currency. But neither of them are the kind of virtual currency we see in free-to-play games, with those predatory models that reward continuous spending, like trying to maintain a powerful buff or getting the new overpowered gear for the month. And it probably won't be like storefronts where the virtual currency is only available with cash. The way I'm looking at it, Hearthsteel, like Tender, is most likely an earnable in-game currency first. probably earned in fixed amounts through endeavors and completing activities alongside your neighborhood. That sort of incentive will be what helps keeps neighborhoods feeling lively each month. Players will be motivated to complete the endeavor or earn currency or both. Hopefully, like Tinder, there's no cap, so when there's an opportunity to save or spend, that sounds familiar too, right? Then we'll have the freedom to take advantage of that. And on occasion, this Hearthsteel stuff will be bundled with something in the shop, or like an expansion release with one of these fancy icons. For all we know, they might go back and like retroactively add this Hearthsteel to people who bought like the Heroic or Epic edition of Midnight. The big flaw in this theory is that there are two kinds of currencies in this data. There's these community tokens that I talked about earlier, and now Hearthsteel. And with only bits of data mining to go with, I don't see a world where both of these currencies can exist. I mean, think about it like this. If Blizzard wanted to sell decor on a storefront, they would just sell it on their recently updated storefront, in fact. There's a shop right there, it's nice and easy, so why is Hearthsteel needed? Another theory, maybe along with Trader's Tender, Hearthsteel can also be given out. That way, down the road, when decor does show up on the trading post, players won't have to make a choice between pets and mounts and transmog and toys and now decor on top of that. But they could also just give us more tender, and having two currencies to manage from the trading post, it just feels super janky. It's super blah. Another theory again is that Hearthsteel may replace all purchases in the shop, as in we spend real money to buy Hearthsteel, and then we use Hearthsteel to buy appearances and mounts and character services and so on, which is at least kind of plausible. Now, how this affects the WoW token, that's a different sort of rabbit hole, and for now, I'd rather not jump down there. So I'm left to the theory, it's just a theory, that community coupons are going to be replaced by Hearthsteel in some future build. Looking closer at the data mining, I noticed that before the first public build of the alpha, these coupons had this kind of tooltip attached to it. But on the first public build onwards, the tooltip had changed, adding this not yet implemented tag. There's all sorts of weird ideas that make it as far as being written into the alpha game data, but in the end, this might mean these coupons are on the chopping block. Replacing the coupons with Hearthsteel, it makes everything fall into place as this nicely fixed currency that only buys decor. I mean, come on, calling it Hearthsteel is very much on the nose. But these are just my takes based on data mining, and we'll see what happens in the near future when endeavors are actually testable. I'll see you Monday.